Good evening. Hello and welcome. My name is Seth and this is Sweet Chariot. Sorry, just getting a bit precarious. So I've got my string here attached to a what's it called? A crane scale, a pull scale, I know it as. And it's coming through the tripod. But it looks good. It's allowed me to get this straight on angle here so I can show off the tillering on this bow. I've done some more on it, so I figured I should set the camera up and show it off as part of the series. So if you want to see it from the start, you can go ahead and do that. I think this is part 10. What would I call this one? More tillering. See, on the last video, we were getting to about 18 inches and hitting the wall. The wall being where, you know, the bow could bend some more, but you feel it starting to resist. And you feel if you pull past that point, the thing will snap. So yeah, the wall was about 18 last time, which is actually 17 inches, if I'm being honest. Yeah, if I was to add a little bit more material, no, still, even then. Yeah, I need to jack that handle up a little bit. It's about an inch low. So if I'm brutally honest, 18 is actually 17. But we're going way past that now. So what I decided on last time was my tips weren't moving enough. So on both sides, in spite of being quite different to each other, the right one has a whole bunch of knots and the left one doesn't. They will actually move they'd actually balanced up quite nicely. It's not perfect, but it's about the best I can hope for. Considering the right hand limb has its own shape sort of preset in there. I can see the left hand limb is probably moving a bit more than the right. Or have we come unbalanced? We might be slightly unbalanced here. Yeah, the back of the handle is not flat, which is creating some issues. It's little things like that you want to keep in mind. Yeah, that's looking better. Let's go from there. Oh, that's my pull scale. Don't be afraid. So yeah, I decided my tips weren't moving enough, which they now are. I would say. We could probably even get a bit more out of there. And considering we're getting to, what's that, 23 inches? We could say 24. It's now, well, I have as well as taking material away from the tips. Oop, don't know the tripod. I've taken material away from the front and the back, closer to the handle. So that is now the area that we want to start to encourage to bend. And so we'll see that. Let me get over by the bow a sec. Oh yeah, we can do a weight test as well. It's this area here I want to start to encourage to bend more now. And we can see that it's sort of holding its flatness here. We just encourage just a little bit more, so you could take a bit more sapwood off both sides, I think. Yeah, sort of dip it in towards the handle, but I'm going to leave, you know, on other designs I've done, I've sort of scooped material away from here. Give it a nice sort of shallow handle, but I think I'm going to do that slightly differently and keep this one a bit thicker on the front. Yeah, we're now looking to make it bend here and here, and then you'll be surprised how much of that final draw that you can get from just a wee bit more coming away from the tips. And so the more material you have away from there, sort of towards the final amount that you're going to take away, the easier it is going to be to do some reshaping of the wood, do some reflexing. Not recurving, but we will do some reflexing, which is just the baby version of recurving. All right, there's our wall there at 24. So we've got 4 inches to go, considering we've done 10 inches since the last time I spoke to you. It's really not far off. I want it to be 29-inch draw. And of course, yeah, we're going to reshape those tips a bit, so that's going to put some resistance back in there. So yeah, it's probably about what we've taken away again. What we've taken away since I last spoke to you again. Where do we want to be mindful though? And there is a strange shape to the one on the right, but it doesn't seem to be hinging in the area I thought it would. Yeah, not far to go and lots to play with. Giggity. Right, so thanks very much everyone. I'm going to keep on scraping and hopefully have a working bow pretty soon. The next thing to be considering, I mentioned the back of the handle wasn't quite smoothed off, so it can cause some issues when you're trying to get things balanced. The next thing to consider is exactly what the handle's going to be like. I had sketched on just a rough 1-inch wide handle, 4 inches from the middle. It's worked well on other bows I've done before. That's effectively deciding whether it shoots off the right hand side or the left hand side, or try and make it do both. I have enjoyed doing the center cut left hand shooting bows, but I think these suit a traditional handle. Plus, thumb shooting is really fun. Thumb shooting is really thumb. It is also really fun. And if we're, well, yeah, I see I wasn't vocal about exactly what sort of bow I was making from the start, but I think I had a back in my mind I was just going to go for a horsebow one again, for which I tiller in the center. Yeah, for a sort of a deeper handled Mediterranean style bow, I'll probably do 4 inches and 3 inches on either side of the handle, and you sort of create your tiller that way. So yeah, it becomes really, it becomes obvious. It's quite intuitive. The whole process is incredibly intuitive, if I'm honest. As long as you listen, soak up knowledge. Yeah, I need to drop it in a little bit here. Just a little bit to go. Just got to be very careful now. You take too much away in one area and you're going to try and repeat it on the other side, and you're going to run out of material quite quickly. Oh yeah, that's something we wanted to do actually before we go. Let's take the weight, the draw weight, at 24 inches. Could actually shoot at that length. I need to take a bit of material away from the handles and skinny it down, but slim it down I should say. But yeah, I could shoot an arrow. In fact, well, you can sort of play this game. Well, because it's, you know, you don't want to get attached to a bow until it's fired an arrow like 100 times. So as soon as you can start that process, you should really. But you don't want to put effort into the handle where there's still a likelihood of your limbs snapping, or a decent possibility. So to slim the handle down real quick, real nice and quick, and get it so an arrow can pass by. I'm probably going to do that pretty soon, if I'm honest. Right, let's take a reading. It's got a lovely reassuring creak, hasn't it? I don't think it's the bow. 24, we are at 35. I think we just passed 24 actually. That's probably closer to 25 inches. $35 at 25 at the moment, which is about in line with the other ones I've done. It's it's a case of certain widths and lengths of pieces of yew, once you've made it, bend to a certain distance, you're going to land at a certain power point. And I think that with these sort of 1.5 inch, they're under 2 inches. You know, sort of typically you aim for a 2 inch wide limb, but these are slim pieces of yew, probably closer to 1.5 inches. So I don't think we're going to hit that, what, 15, 60 pound sort of power point with these pieces of wood. I could be wrong. I could bust out my magical bow making skills and make it happen. But if I'm honest, I'm not that experienced yet. I've managed to make them bend evenly and chuck an arrow straight. The speed refinement is a bit of a point of contention, if I'm honest. Got people claiming certain speeds, people claiming that other people claiming this is it's not realistic. You're making a traditional bow. You're not competing with modern compound and recurve bows. It's sort of, you know, if you can make them work at all, you should be quite happy with yourself, I think, when it comes to the Selfbow. Yeah, get a few hundred bows down the line, I think you're going to be quite a bit more in tune with honing in every single detail to make the thing better, which is refinement. You see that in... Sorry, there's a noise downstairs. I'm sure it was just something falling over. Yeah, you see that in all technology. A car is effectively the same as what it was 100 years ago. What's changed is the refinement of it. Every single piece has been honed very slightly, changed, tweaked, refined. And then you end up with an overall, even though the gains are incrementally smaller, sort of the harder you look for them, they add up. And that's what you do with experience. But I think we're doing okay. I mean, 35 pound bows, 35 pound, 45 pound bows are brilliant. If we're honest. Yeah. So they're a bow that you can shoot for a lot longer. And if you want to get good at archery, you've got to shoot a lot. So if you go for a heavy bow, and this is a mistake that people often make, I hear, not an experienced archer, but I've done a lot of research, is going for a bow that's too heavy. And I've witnessed this myself. I made a bow that was too heavy and it instantly hurt my shoulder. It wasn't fun to shoot. So the mission became making a lighter weight bow. Yeah. I think this was before I truly understood draw weight and making the wood not back set and draw length in particularly. Yeah, the value of arrow speed versus draw weight. You don't necessarily need a heavier bow to make your arrow go faster. You could go with a lighter arrow. You could go with a longer draw length. Yeah, there's the main thing there being, if you have a lighter poundage bow. I mean, we're not hunting in this country for a start, so we're mostly target shooting. You have a lighter poundage bow, something that you can manage. Let's say if you can comfortably shoot a 60 pound bow, dial it down, do a 45 pound bow. Why not? Yeah, the skill is in the technique, and the more you can practice the technique, the better you get at the skill. Then you can step it up onto higher bows. But what you'll find is hurt your fingers more. You can't fire as many shots. You're probably less accurate with those shots that you do fire, because yeah, you might be able to pull the bow, but you won't be able to pull it as consistently and gently and do everything as consistently as you can with a bow that is, you might think, is underpowered. But let me tell you, all the shorts I've done recently, those bows are sub 30 pounds. Yeah, less than this. But with that, just that little bit of refinement, you can take a 30 pound bow and make it shoot real nice and quick, fun. That's the main that's the main feature. But yeah, that's enough on that. Let's have one more yank on this sucker. Yep. Yeah, I felt it exercise into its full length there, so it was sort of hitting its wall here, and then we were able to come down a little bit further. Go on, let's do one more full draw. I can do it without knocking the tripod. Yeah, definitely in by the handle. And at the tips, I was able to get rid of that hinge on the left hand limb. Yep. We're going to do more in around the handle, and that should take us to the full draw. A little smidge on the tips, that should be good. Then we will look at reflexing, putting those tips back a bit, see if we can increase those speeds. All right, that's it. Thanks again, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe, you know what to do. We'll make this channel a beast. Beauty. Thanks again.